Yes, people always saying, man. Welcome back, innit? Welcome back. We got the whole news, man. We got the whole news in a hundred. Yo, we got the news, man. Khaldoon the king has been talking, innit? You know what I mean? Khaldoon has been talking. We're making moves now, and yeah, Khaldoon has done his end of season interview. Part 1 has been out. So if you've not watched that, you probably won't know what's going to go on in it because we'll be speaking about stuff that you've not seen. So you probably want to have watched the video anyway. But yeah, if you've not watched it, then you either go and watch it now, watch this later, or you watch this and then just have no idea what we're talking about.
Also, if you've not watched it, what are you doing, innit?
Also, yeah, if you've not watched it, what are you doing?
What are you doing with yourself?
What are you doing?
You need to make time, and people will be like, yeah, but I've got a job, a real job. Not like you two. And I'm like, yeah, but you got to watch it.
It's true, man. It's true. You guys got to get on it. Before we get into it, make sure you guys smash the like on the stream if you've not done so already. Subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. But what was your initial thoughts, bro? What was your initial thoughts of the interview? Did you rate it? Was you happy what he said? Anything that you didn't like? Where you at?
I thought it was all right. I think one of the biggest parts of the Dunes interview. A lot of people wait for that kind of them transfer hints, the kind of look towards next season, and see what we're going to do with that. However, he did kind of focus on, obviously it was winning the Champions League is a massive thing. He did speak about the 115 charges. I thought it was just Khaldoon and he seemed very happily confident. You can tell he was absolutely buzzing in this interview, and he obviously likes the way that's been that this season's gone. How could you not? What my initial reaction was, I was happy with it. It wasn't like the most entertaining thing. But at the end of the day, there's two parts of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very true. Very true. I think. I think obviously we'll start off by talking about the charges because clearly that's something that's still ongoing, and we still don't fully understand what's going to happen with the charges until it's completed. No one can really say for sure. We didn't have too much to say on it because clearly, as he said, there are legal issues that still prevent him from fully speaking about it. But he said,
Yeah.
these proceedings these are proceedings that take time, and whatever they take, and when we're done, we'll have a conversation. I will give you my very blunt views. I promise you. I have very strong views, but I'm going to be unfortunately very restrained today. He says, unfortunately, he can't speak about the charges, but he wants to speak about them, and he'll give us his very blunt views. He said this, by the way, while smiling.
Yeah, he gave air of confidence when he spoke about these charges. I like that. It's good for us City fans to see your chairman in full confidence. Like, and to be fair, the guy who wants to talk about it, but he can't, innit? Someone in the chat just put, yeah, Mitchell charge 116 is speaking about the 115 charges. Like, you just can't do it, man. You can't do it, but I can't help but love a confident Khaldoon. And that is the kind of that's the vibe that he's giving off. Do you remember a couple of years ago and he was like, people determine that shouldn't determine their success, like or the way that their failure on the way that we like do bits, and like that gave real energy there. Whereas this one was like confident energy, and you could tell, right? He defo wants to talk about it. He wants to speak about it. It's not like he's shying away from it. He really wants to talk about it because he kind of goes off on one a little bit without really putting himself in the shit. So he's giving the confidence, but as us fans, we're still stuck in we're sat in the dark on this. We can't know.
Well, yeah, exactly. And the thing is, right, is it's one of these that, like, I'm trying my best, right, not to sort of take anything from what he said. I've seen people on Twitter who are like, oh, yeah, I know someone who's ITK and they said this and we're going to get off and all that kind of shit. And they might be true. I'm not having a go, but I am not willing at this point, because of how serious it is and how important it is. I'm not willing at this point to really take anything too much, unless a source that comes to me directly, you know what I mean, and says, LB, you know, and I know this source is a good source and tells me directly. I ain't really at this moment in time willing to get too gassed about even Khaldoon smiling. I'm not gonna, because I don't want to get excited for it and then boom, in a year's time or whatever, City are relegated to the Conference League. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? You all told me that we was getting away with it. So
you're saving yourself that pain of being fucked over.
Yeah. So I'm just at this moment in time, like, listen, don't get me wrong. I'm happy that Khaldoon's looking like that rather than, oh yeah, the charges are real bad in it. You know what I mean? We'll have to do our best to get out of this. You know what I mean? I'd obviously put more happy that he's doing what he's doing and he's looking relaxed. And I'm seeing people on Twitter say, oh, I've been told this and that. But ultimately, the facts are the facts. We don't know what's happening. Khaldoon hasn't come out today and said, we're innocent, we're about to get found innocent, y'all get rid of a party. No, he's not said anything like that. And ultimately, people who are coming out on Twitter or Blue Moon Forum or whatever, or people in the chat who said, I've been told this, I've been told that, great for you. You might believe them because you've been told it, but you're not going to reveal your source to me, which I'm not going to ask you to reveal your source because clearly that's dumb. But unless I get told from someone, then it's what it is. So yeah, it's one of them, we'll have to wait and see what happens.
It's a waiting game, isn't it? And obviously
it's a waiting game.
It's a long-ass waiting game as well.
Well, this is another problem. Is like some people are saying, oh, this is going to take 4 years. Other people are like, it's almost done already. It's going to be done in a week or two because we've got found. Not like no one knows.
Yeah, so it's very weird, man. It is very weird. But then like but at least we're getting like the confidence from Khaldoon. That's the only thing. But I'm not gonna get like I'm with you. I'm not gonna put myself on the we're innocent, like, because I don't know in it. I don't know. But it is nice to see when your chairman is doing that, like, well, sitting on that kind of side of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess like I say, it's better than him not doing that and going another way, innit? You know, that'd be horrendous. But yeah, that's all he really had to say about the charges, guys. For people who've not watched the interview, he didn't really have too much to say other than that about the charges. But he did speak about a few other stuff. He was buzzing about Pep Guardiola, of course. Was very very happy about his performance, and why wouldn't you? But with the treble, spoke a little bit about obviously the squad and the fact that he recognises that the squad isn't actually as big as some people think, which maybe indicates that we will get in a few extra players, because he also referenced the fact that we're playing in the Super Cup and the Club World Cup. So with him saying that and then saying the fact that the squad isn't actually that big, does that indicate that maybe we might be getting a few extra players in to cope with that Club World Cup and
But then
expectations?
he does also say that Pep likes a small squad.
First, he did say that, yeah.
So it is a bit of a weird one. It is a bit weird one. Obviously, we all know we'd like a little bit more depth in certain areas, because this City squad depth thing is definitely a myth. People always say it is a myth, 100%. I just think it depends on. I guess it depends on Pep. Depends on what Pep wants.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it does. It does. Obviously, Pep wants a bigger. The thing is, though, Pep might say, "Oh, this year because I've got the Club World Cup, I need a bigger squad." So he might say that, but he also might be like, "Nah, I'm chilling."
Yeah, I'm happy with the way it is.
So
we can run it like this. But like I say, this transfer window is a major transfer window. We've seen rumors of nine players leaving, which is mad. Like 9 players leaving is absolutely heavy. Like obviously those players being Walker, Gundo, Bernardo, Palmer, Cancelo, Laporte, Mahrez, Gomez, Phillips.
yeah,
So,
well, one of the players, Gundogan, Khaldoon said this about Gundogan. He said he'll go down in the folklore of Manchester City forever. He's a captain, a representation of this club in terms of hard work, commitment, always, humbleness, winning mentality. And when you need him in the big games, he's always there. I hope there's more chapters to that legacy. Obviously, Ilkay has to make big life decisions for him, but at the end of it, fully understandable. We always have to respect our players and their wishes. And that's quite funny, actually, because then as well, we got something else a little bit later that suggested that Ilkay Gundogan is still actually not
decided.
not actually computed. CF Bayern, Christian Falk said Ilkay Gundogan says there's no decision on his Manchester City future. So maybe he's actually just not decided. Maybe he's still sat here and be like, I still don't know what to do, man.
It is a very hard decision to make.
Yeah.
Like you leave City where you've spent like the most successful part of your career. You've just won a treble. You're on a high, but then you can leave on a high at the perfect time and then go off elsewhere, go to Barca or wherever it is, and then have a new chapter of life, or renew with City for an extra 2 years and stay with the club where we're currently experiencing good success. Like it's difficult because he wants, obviously, apparently Barca are willing to offer him 3 years as well. We're willing to offer 2 years. So he's got a newborn, looking for longevity. I think there's a lot of determining factors that he has to think about, and he's got to weigh it up, man. So maybe like it's a hard decision. Maybe he's literally just sat there thinking, I genuinely don't know what to do yet. But apparently, I've seen this before. He has given himself a deadline of this week. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, he has to give himself a deadline. He can't keep dragging it on.
Yeah, well, he says apparently this is 2 hours ago. Yeah, in the last few hours, City have pressed a lot to complete the Ilkay Gundogan's contract renewal, offering him a 2-year contract extension. The midfielder has given himself a deadline of this week to make a decision on his future. So basically, he's got to like this is it. This is the determining week of whether Gundo stays or goes.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Khaldoon referencing that and how big of a decision he's got.
Yeah, no, 100%. Big up Facts Only says Julian Alvarez is currently playing against my country and is getting pocketed. Oh dear.
It's funny actually because let me just double check if this is true. He sent that in. Yeah, he sent that in, and then like a couple of minutes later, they scored.
Oh no. Who scored?
no!
Argentina?
In fact, I think they might have scored earlier. I think, but they are Argentina winning, so I don't know about getting pocketed.
Oh right, yeah. I mean, yeah, you can't really get pocketed if you're losing, isn't it? If you win it.
If you're winning, yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, obviously he said that about Ilkay Gundogan, so that's a bit of a madness. What else did he say? It was quite jolly. It was kind of a weird one, man, because of the fact that obviously we won everything, we won the treble. It was kind of a pretty chill interview, you know what I mean? And you know
want
what?
a bit of spice in it sometimes. You like it when there's a little bit of shit to talk about, like something for him to fight about.
Well, maybe in the next part we'll see that. But one thing that I did like about him is the fact that he said they're ready to go again next year, which I like. They're ready to go again. They ain't waiting. You know what I mean? They're already on it, which obviously you know they're already on it because they're going for what's his name, Kovacic. So they're already looking to sign players, Guardiola. So that's really good. So hopefully, you know, we're making moves in the transfer market. What wingers are we going to get? You know what I mean? What other players are we going to get? We don't know at this moment in time. We've only been linked with two, and we're probably going to get the two in Guardiola and Kovacic. But I liked how he was like, you know what? Now we're going to go again. And he said him, Tiki, Ferran, and Pep were all like, yeah, we go again next year, which is W mentalities, man.
He said he's excited. He was like talking about this past season and what they've done. He was like, but don't get me wrong, I'm genuinely excited for the next part. Like, it feels like this is the end of one chapter, then we're walking into another chapter. Don't know why. Obviously, winning the treble and that feels a bit complete, and then we're going on to another bit where we might have a little bit of transition this season with a lot of outgoings, but they are ready for it, and and he speaks about in the thing about fighting on all fronts in every competition. We are there. We want to win absolutely everything, and he's talking about the Club World Cup and the Super Cup, whatever it's called. He says that they want to win them like a lot. They want to add that to Manchester City's history.
Yeah,
they want that to be a thing. They want that to be a part of us, which is
they're the only competitions we've not won now, other than Europa League and Conference League. But you don't really want to win them. You want to win the Champions League. So yeah, 100%, man, 100%. And this is W mentality, and this is like what other clubs need to have, man. Like, why is it so many other clubs are so like they take L mentality all the time? Like City, like we just won the treble, and our owner, or not owner, but our chairman is coming out a week later, 2 weeks later, and going, right, we go again next year. We want to win it all.
Also,
like, that is just a W mentality, man.
How sick is it that we get this as fans?
Yeah,
we get this every season, an insight as to what's happened, our failures, our success, like where we've succeeded in the season, and we get to hear from our chairman of how good like it is, like how that is so sick. Like no other club does this. I don't know why. No other club does this. No. I always see on Twitter and that when it comes out, like people being like, why no one else doing this?
Well, I think some fans are starting to recognise this now. You know what I mean? I speak to Lee Gunner a lot, do some shows with Lee Gunner, and he says the same thing, that like, and he's actually done a video today on the Khaldoon thing, saying exactly what I've just said, and that like City are a real club, man, who have like W people at the top. Too many clubs. I mean, you look at Arsenal, for example, buying Kai Havertz. Why are they buying Kai Havertz? They're on the edge potentially of winning a Premier League, and they're buying Kai Havertz. Why not going out buying players who can come in and 100% get you better? Kai Havertz is a gamble. I'm not saying Kai Havertz will flop at Arsenal. I'm not saying he will. I'm not saying he won't. I don't know. But it's a gamble. It's a complete gamble. They're spending 60 million quid on a gamble, man. They've literally gone into the casino and gone, boom, 60 million on red or black in it, and see what happens.
Is that legit happening, that do? Yeah.
That's happening, yeah. Why are they not going out there and buying an actual sick player? A player that can 100%, you know, this player is going to improve that squad. Why? Because they're not serious, man.
Yeah,
they're not serious, and I don't get why clubs are like this.
The thing for me is what I love about our club at this moment in time is the transparency that we have. And I know like people might, oh, but the 115 charges, we don't know much about that. Well, we're not allowed to know much about that. That's why. But the transparency that we have, like with the way things are run and the chairman, like right now, this it shows the connection between. It gives you the connection between the chairman and the fans. Then he gives you insight into how the club's going to be run and how they're looking, the mentality of the club moving forward. Like, and that mentality right now is to go out there and keep winning things.
Yeah,
which is mint. It's the biggest mentality like boots that you can have. Now, obviously, we can't speak for other clubs and that what they're going through each season, but I'm happy in our place where we're at now, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
Ernesto, by the way, the 5 getting membership. Yes, Ernesto. Big up, man. Big up, Ernesto. Not seen you for ages, bro. Hope you're very, very good. Hugh Murray. Yes. Fucking US Murray is in the chat. The Dune. Yes.
Is he in? He can't be in New York already, isn't it?
Nah, but surely is it airplane got Wi-Fi? Some airplanes have Wi-Fi and that, don't they?
Is he on the plane?
You're on the plane, Hugh,
Get
innit?
on the stream, man. On the plane.
Bro, if you're on the plane, Hugh, innit? Yeah, get on the stream.
Send him the link, man.
Yeah, put the link in the chat, innit?
Just while we sent that, David Ornstein has just reported
that
Bernardo Silva has received a lucrative opportunity to join the Saudi Pro League. It's not an official offer yet, but he's expected to turn it down, apparently. So, an offer is there for him if he wants to go, but nothing concrete. Sounds like he don't want it.
I don't think that's it. I ain't on no plane. He's waiting on a delayed flight to London.
Oh shit! The fuck, right?
So what's why go on with that then? Like, is he in jeopardy of not going to New York?
Jeopardy.
But
there was a couple of other things that Khaldoon had to say. Let me get it up for you guys. He talked about value and how much value they brought, and obviously you all probably seen the thing a couple of weeks ago that City are now the most valuable team in the world. He says Manchester City as a whole is very well run. Today, the value of this group is over $6 billion. We created so much value. We brought world-class investors. Why? Because we have a commercial machine here that is one of the best in the world. Our executives are being targeted by the best teams in the world always. By the way, it's a credit to us. I respect that. People appreciate that we are producing not just the best talent on the pitch, but the best talent in the academy. Not just the best talent in the group, but some of the best executives in the world, best scouts, best sporting staff. That's a testament to the great work this group is doing. It's about being best in class, man, isn't it? That's what it's all about, man. Mm-hmm. It's all about being the best in class, being as best as you can be and getting the best people possible, doing everything. So that's from the playing staff, that's from the coaches, that's from the scouts to the board, the executive, all these things that he's talking about. It's about having the best possible people running the club, because if you don't have the best possible people running the football club, you end up like Man United over the last 10 years. You end up like Arsenal over the last 10 years. You know what I mean? You end up shit, basically. You look at Spurs. Spurs are a team that should have won a trophy over the last 10 years with the team that they had, with the players that they had, with the managers that they've had. And because the only reason they've not won a trophy, Spurs, is because of the board. You got to get the correct people in the board, man. If you don't, you won't win shit.
Yeah, we got to strive to succeed in it, and that's what we do week in, week out, year after year. Ernesto with the $20. Yes, Ernesto, mate. Says Jordan and LBR faded, bro. Just been through some things. I'll private check you, mate. No worries, mate. He says, I haven't forgot about my family much. Yes, Ernesto, mate. Hope you're good. Hope you're enjoying your off season from Arsenal for a bit.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Why is this guy in the chat, man? But Bernardo, damn, this guy.
Well, he thinks he's done something there, bro. He thinks he's done something. You know what man did? Man read a headline and thought he did something.
Yeah, he's just
bro. You should still be in hiding you after that treble win.
True, it's true. I thought he was going to move out anyway. I thought he was going to move. I didn't went Kenya for a week or whatever. I thought the guy was like, I'm going to move to Spain. I'm going to hide him for 2 months.
I thought he was in Kenya house shopping. Yeah. I thought he was looking for a new gaff.
Yeah, what's going on, man? He can't be a real United fan, innit? Otherwise, he would have been in hiding. Honestly, guys, if you've not watched the Khaldoon interview, I'd highly recommend watching it. I think you should watch it. You know, he obviously does a lot of good work at the football club. He's the guy basically leading the club forward, and I think it's important that you watch it to see exactly what he's got to say. There will be a part 2 coming out apparently tomorrow, so that'll be interesting. Will we see any fireworks there? Don't know.
Maybe some transfer news.
Yeah, maybe something on the transfers. He normally does speak a little bit about transfers, doesn't he?
He gives you like a hint, or maybe we see nothing on transfers because City moving weird. Do you know what I mean? We know about Kovacic and Gvardiol, but do you remember when you used? I'm sure you were saying it the other day, bro, about maybe is there something else? Mm-hmm. Are we moving for something like
a big Donny, like a
Mbappe? Big Donny, yeah, that we want, but not Mbappe. Pep actually came out today, then he said no to Mbappe. Like he said, nah, we know where he wants to go.
Yeah.
But because if there's no news tomorrow from the transfer front, it's basically that they don't want to give away their strategy for the season coming up. Then they're not really giving you much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll see, innit?
Yeah, well, we'll have a look. Obviously, it will be out tomorrow. I imagine the exact same time, 10 o'clock in the morning. Tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it and see what he's got to say in it. And then it's just about more transfers, man, because like we're getting loads of speculation at the moment about players leaving, you know what I mean? But there's nothing really coming in other than Kovacic, which is basically a done deal now. And Gvardiol, which doesn't look like a done deal, but it looks like
It looks like it's getting close.
Yeah, so it looks like something's happening there. Other than that, we're not really getting anything else. And of course, the two players that we sign in there are squad rotational players because Gvardiol's not going to go straight into the team, in my opinion. I think he'll have to work his way in. And Kovacic won't start straight away. So, you know, where's the right winger?
Where's Leroy Sané in it?
I guess if Kyle Walker does sign a new deal, then that takes one position.
Yeah, it's still a winger mode, isn't it?
Yeah. So
the winger is like the missing piece, this jigsaw, and we have no links. Not a single link to a winger, and we could be losing Riyad Mahrez, which is mad. Mitchell says Tolme and said Sané has been offered to us. Yeah. Tolme's been speaking again. Said that Sané has been offered to see.
I always take him home, man. Bring him
imagine.
Bring him home.
No, bro. I seen something major on the Sané front, bro. Let me just double check. Let me fact check myself, bro. Joe transfer mark, does it show? Wait, I seen something bad, bro.
Bad as in good or bad as in bad?
No, not bad as in it's bad. No, bad as in like not good for us. Apparently, bro, Leroy Sané is on 280 grand a week.
Yeah, that's a problem, man.
That is heavy cash.
That's a problem.
280 grand a week at Bayern.
That's a problem.
So I don't think City are gonna go, yo, you can have 280 grand a week.
Nah. If we get him, he's got to go on like standard cash, 150, 180.
Yeah, but is he gonna want to do that? I reckon. But then if the club are desperate, they might just be like, you know what? It is 280. It is 250.
Yeah, I don't think they are desperate. They'll only be desperate if Mahrez leaves, innit?
Yeah.
So yeah, and if Gundogan resigns, they won't be desperate because Foden will probably start next year as right winger.
Yeah.
So then you're looking at backup right wingers, not starting right winger. Because at the moment we assume that Gundogan's going to leave because he's not got a contract, and therefore we expect Foden to go in the middle. And if Mahrez leaves, then we've got no wingers. So that's why at the moment it's kind of difficult because we're like, who are we getting? Are we getting a starting right winger or a backup right winger? We'll have to see. Anthony says, I think they got something special in the, I guess you mean like pipeline or in the works or something. Maybe. That's what I'm saying. Possibly. Have they got something lined up for us, man? Have they got something lined up for us? Who knows?
What they're doing for us here, innit? What you're
we'll have to wait and see, man. It does seem like very quiet. Remember when we signed Akanji, bro? It was very quiet then, innit? So
yeah.
Facts only says Tel Saeed, his 99 team lost the UEFA Super Cup, the Shield, the Club World Cup. If City do the sextuple, tell him to go back to Kenya. Yo, what the fuck? Go back to Kenya. Oh, no, really. His Kenya trip, man, looked sick, you know.
Yeah, it did. I seen bare of it. Look, man.
Yeah, he did look sick. I was a bit jealous. And Adam with the member chat says thoughts on bringing Zaha in.
I thought he was going Saudi. I seen things saying Zaha's going Saudi.
He's going to Saudi Arabia. Yeah, I don't know. Right, I've got to go because I've got a call to do anyway. So yeah. Do you want to stay on or? Do you want to
it's chill. We spoke about when you speak about it.
Yeah, we're going to do a Gundogan video anyway. I've got a video going out on my channel now, so go check that one out. But yeah, we're back later on. And yeah, peace out, people.